Bill J.P. Marzullo. Did I say it fast enough?
You did, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I won't say
Checking.
anything except. You notice the shirt under the shirt.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
cold today. I was just about to say, I'm
Yeah,
cold
I
today.
mean,
What's going
one
on?
day it's like 90 and the next day it's 60. So
Well-
I keep my flannels out all year round and my turtlenecks, knowing that this would happen. So, yeah.
I wasn't
welcome.
expecting it. I really wasn't. So I was off on another secret mission recently.
In warm weather, I bet.
And
You notice
it was,
he doesn't
it was
give any
90
hints or
degrees. It was
anything. It's like-
it was a diplomatic mission down to Florida. I was requesting the privilege of sending Massachusetts Democrats to Alligator Alcatraz. And they shot me down. I was like, I got a whole bunch of them in New Hampshire. You can have them. And they said no. So
Yeah, that should be fun. In fact, you should just leave the doors open. You don't even
Yeah.
need any guards. You
Yeah,
just
yeah.
load them in there and walk away.
no, they said they can't take the Democrats. So whatever. So
It poisons the alligators, or
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's-
They spit them back out.
Yeah, that's
So
probably
they
it.
don't like
Yeah.
them.
or they make handbags out of them. Boots. They make boots out of them. I've seen that. Yeah, alligator boots.
All right. We have a returning guest, Representative Lisa Mazer. How you doing?
I am doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a good day.
Yeah,
What?
let's talk about
Some good
the
stuff going on?
signings. Yeah.
Yeah, I
She had a great
mean,
day.
yes, today was the culmination of a crazy, wild term, or first year of a term. HB 701, right to try. Bill was signed by Governor Ayotte today. We already have a right to try in New Hampshire, but this really expanded on it and improved it a lot, enough so to make us one of the leading states in the entire nation
nice.
for getting access to people with terminal illnesses, access to experimental treatments to save their lives. So, there's part of telehealth screening in it and
Yep.
removing civil liability, which wasn't in there before. So there's just so many improvements to it. So this was a historical a bill that
Now, you were the key sponsor of it.
I was the prime sponsor.
Yeah, and who else was along with it with you?
Yeah, well, we had several co-sponsors on the bill, but honestly, it sailed through the House on consent, bipartisan.
Which is very unusual.
Very unusual. So that was great, and then it hit a roadblock in the Senate, so that we had to take it to a committee of conference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was tough. And
So you get
yeah.
400 plus say, yep, go do it.
Yes.
And then you got 24 that just,
Yeah, well, it was less than that because it went through HHS committee first in the Senate.
Oh, okay.
So there were 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, 5 of them. So that's where we hit our roadblock. So we took it to a committee of conference, and great people from my HHS committee. I chose not. I didn't want to be on it. I don't think it's just weird, kind of defending your own bill, and you don't want to be too territorial or biased in all of the discussions. So put some real quality people though on there. But I was there present for every single one, just gripping.
Your knuckles were turning.
Yeah, because it's wild. Because you want to get in there and fight for your bill, but you have to also rely on other people
Sure.
to fight that fight for you, and that's really nerve-wracking and really emotional. I've never experienced getting a bill from its inception, from an idea, all the way to the governor's desk.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, and I've had 3 of them in the past few weeks, and hugely, this one wasn't super controversial. It ended up being a little weird in the end with how it was amended and things like that.
So the Senate amended it.
They did, and that was unfortunate.
so let's start with, we already had a right to try.
Yes.
But what were the limitations there? I mean, one of the big things with the right to try is insurance companies and doctors unwilling to put their
Yeah.
medical licenses on the line to try
Yeah.
something that may or may not work or may not kill you.
Yep.
So the original right
yeah.
to try, it takes some of that liability away and opens
Yes.
it a little bit,
Takes
right? Is that
most
correct?
of it away, yes. And it actually makes it so the first right to try bill, the whole FDA, it had to get through a first stage of FDA trial. This is not that. So it doesn't have to go through that. So if there's something out there that someone recommends to a doctor or whoever recommends to someone who is just diagnosed, even children. I actually know of children right now who their parents are rejoicing over this because, a child was just diagnosed with muscular dystrophy and he needs, and there's some stuff out there right now that they want to try because the diagnosis is not good. And that's what you want, that's what people need, that last straw. And if people are willing to take it, then take it. And so that's a big part of it. And it was the civil liability removal. That was a big piece of it. That was a part of the first one.
Yeah.
So that's why and even the Honorable John Lewicki, who this bill was named after, and the Honorable Michael Yakubovich, it was named after both of them.
Oh, nice.
Because the Honorable John Lewicki, he wrote the first right to try bill that was passed in 2016. And he was a huge part of getting this one through, too. He was at every hearing, he testified, and just a big champion of it. And same with Michael. Yeah, it was, and unfortunately, Michael couldn't be there today. He was at every hearing, too. And but he had some complications, so he's in New York getting treatments. But his wife was there. And so
nice.
his wife and John Lewicki, they received the governor's pen.
Nice.
Which was a special moment. It was really emotional. I noticed the governor posted pictures today from it, and here I'm crying in all of them. So I had these weird faces because I was just trying to hold it all
we
back.
noticed that, but that's not a bad thing. That shows that this is
I was
important.
very invested.
Yeah.
In all of them, not just this one. I had two other, and those were the real controversial ones.
So why don't you tell the viewers what the other two were? Not just give them the numbers, because they will have no idea.
No,
what you're
I
talking
won't. Yeah. So HB 377 will prohibit children, minors under 18, from being put on cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers.
Yep.
So no more of that in New Hampshire.
Yay.
And I'm probably going to get emotional talking about it. And then the second was HB 712. And this wasn't actually anything, it wasn't a trans bill. This was limiting top breast surgeries for minors. It doesn't matter if you're trans or not.
Right.
It was and there were exceptions in the bill, medical exceptions, of course, too.
Yes.
So those two bills, and those were a wild ride to go on with those, because I knew it going in, but I also knew that this is something that New Hampshire was on the cusp of, because Governor Sununu signed the no bottom surgery, for kids, minors, right before he went out. And so this was the chance to just protect children as a whole, and just the whole package. And as you can imagine, a lot of resistance, but also a ton of support. I mean, you saw in all the polls, taken, whether it be here in New Hampshire or across the nation, the large majority of people, especially regarding children, this is not a good idea. And of course, when you write bills, you do the research for them.
Sure.
So I started to go down these rabbit holes of research, and the things that I saw, I can't unsee. And so the damage and the abuse that these treatments and surgeries have done to kids, and thankfully some of them came and testified at my hearings.
Oh,
and it was it was very emotional. I remember a young lady came in and testified in front of the Senate, and it was emotional because she was saying that, she had tried going down the transition path, and she had her breast removed and everything else. Thankfully not the insides yet. So then she changed her mind, because what do kids do? They change their minds. And so she grew out of that and ended up having a child. And it was the most painful experience not being able to breastfeed her child that she's ever had. Like, so painful.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like physically painful.
Yeah.
Because the doctors didn't do the right job in suturing things up and everything, and so it was awful. And the Senate was very emotional about her testimony, because it was, she told it all. And others too, there's this LGB coalition. Notice there's no TQ on the end?
I did.
Yeah, because this is a coalition that has been traveling the country. The founder of it is a whistleblower at a gender clinic. And she started this group of people that travel around to testify and tell the truth of what goes on and how young of patients they're seeing in these clinics. And it's appalling and it's eye-opening. But who better to tell the story than the people who are working in it? And so that was really helpful, even for them to be heard. And there were some New Hampshire families coming in too. But you have your 603 equalities and your outrights here in New Hampshire that just fought it and me tooth and nail on it. So
it defies all logic.
Yes.
We actually spoke about a year and a half ago about that movement. The movement is, they call themselves LGBT no T.
Yes.
Right?
No TQ.
Right? Because it's completely down this illogical road.
Yeah.
And we also talked about, and I don't remember the name of the university, it was a major university, a liberal university, did a 6-year study on folks who are LGBT and T and Q and all of those other letters. And first off, the percentage of the population that is gay or lesbian is like 3%.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about 3% of the planet.
Yeah.
Controlling the thoughts of, guilty white liberals all over the country. Mm-hmm. Of that 3%, it's like less than 0.25% consider themselves trans.
Yeah.
We're talking about this much of the population.
Right.
Right? And the argument is, well, they're a what do they call them? Not a minority. They call them a conflicted population. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they did this study where they started out with, and they did this something like 100,000 people, and they started with a group of teenagers, 20-somethings, whatever, and they interviewed these folks 6 years apart.
Yep.
Right? And so we had this 60% of the people who said that they were gay at the beginning of the survey said, nah, I'm not gay anymore 6 years later. Mm-hmm. They changed their mind.
Yeah.
Right? Of the people who said that they were transgender at the beginning, 85% said no, not doing it. Right? Right? Like what's happening is it's become a social thing.
Absolutely.
It's become a social thing, and it's been to be cool, to do this, to try this, right? Mm-hmm. And what happens is you grow out of your college years and you say, well, I got a little crazy in college. Mm-hmm. I mean, didn't we all? But and so what's happening is if you take that, like I said, it's like something like 85% of anyone who considers them trans changes their mind in under 6 years.
Right. Yeah, and now they're all coming. A lot of them are coming forward now too.
Exactly. There's a reason why we don't let anyone under the age of 18 sign a legal contract.
Yes.
You are not capable of doing so. You are not mature enough to enter into a legal contract at the age of 18 or at the age of 17 or under. Then you sure as heck aren't able to make a decision like that.
Right. Yep, and that was
Right?
the main arguments. And now, even in their 20s, these kids that were on these hormones and things when they were teenagers, some young children are now experiencing like osteoporosis and cancer and things, because when you're putting abnormal, whatever drugs in your body to prevent the natural course of growing up, it's going to change. It's going to do bad things inside of your body, and it is to a lot of them. And I've met a lot of them. So it's not just hearsay. I've met them. I've seen them. They've told me the pain that they're going through, and it is painful, and they're not that old. It's heartbreaking. And so that's why I took it on, because when you take bills like this on, what will happen?
Yes.
You will get the death threats, you will get the attacks, the mailings.
Yep.
I just got one recently that that said
we should make a book. It would collect
Yeah.
all of your threats and all of John
Yeah.
Burt's threats. and
Yeah.
we should make a
I
book.
got a
Yeah.
whole bunch of them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, John
still
Burr. I think
getting
the same people send to me that they did to John Burr. Yeah, I just had one the other day that wrote like TikTok, like you're going out, like we're taking you out,
Yeah.
like, and that was a little disconcerting.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, if it makes you feel any better, let's see, I've been out of the house now for quite a while. I still get those cards.
Oh wow.
I still get things, thank you for supporting this.
Yeah.
They have no idea who I am or how I voted. They can find out.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting those stupid
Interest-
cards.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I
And I'll
bet.
tell you, if you go into Dunkin's in Ware,
Yep.
and you see a whole bunch of older people, and I can say that because I'm older,
Uh-huh.
and they meet there, and they got their pens out and they're writing cards. I've seen it several times.
Oh, I know that group.
You do know, of course you do.
Yes, I know that they're trying to mobilize.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I know the head of that group. Yeah, she sent me a nice letter too.
I bet. So what kind
Yeah.
what kind of support did you get from the Democrats? Next to
Yeah.
nothing, or
So on the puberty blocker bill, 2 Dems voted with us.
2?
Yes, yeah, Jonah Wheeler.
Oh, Jonah, yeah.
My friend Jonah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his colleague from Peterborough. But interestingly enough, Jonah voted with us on both those bills, but the his name is escaping me. But the other rep did not vote on the top surgery one, so we only voted on the hormone one. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they took trouble for it. Oh man, they took trouble for it. Poor Jonah.
Noah's been called out several times.
Yeah, he was blindsided. Not blindsided. He knew it was coming. They had a meeting at a library in Peterborough. It was a town hall type
Yep.
thing,
Yep.
and boy, they showed up just to try and annihilate him.
Yep.
But
He's very courageous.
He is
really
very
is.
courageous.
It's hard to do that
Yeah.
against your own party.
That party, it's like once you're elected in that party, you are required to be bat crap crazy and ignore all
Until the
common
line.
sense.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
absolutely. They're on the wrong side of everything, which is fine with
and
me.
he knows that. That's the thing. That's what's so, he has so much common sense about
He
him.
does.
Because he's looking beyond New Hampshire even, and he sees and he's trying. He's trying like, guys,
Wait,
you're on the wrong side of this.
Right.
Look out there and see what's happening. I know, I know you think this and this, but that's not reality. And he sees that.
Yep.
And he has Democrats from across the country supporting him. And, little does he does know, but the others don't. And I don't know if they'll ever see the light on this. I'm hopeful one day when they see the damage that it's done to these
Yeah.
children when they're older, that they'll look back and say, what have we done?
Yeah.
Because it's already it's coming to that for me already. We're only a few years into this. Really, it really started exploding,
Right.
in the past few years.
I think we've said that before too. It's
Yeah.
amazing how quickly this movement went from not existing
Yeah.
to we are now, slicing and dicing 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And they still think that this is okay.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about this, you know, in the preparation for these bills, as even the why. Why is this happening? And it's because these vulnerable children, and they are vulnerable. That's even in the title of one of my bills, is the Vulnerable Child and Protection Act.
Good.
Because these are vulnerable kids who are being preyed on. In the TikToks, so they're finding these groups that when they, you know, a kid sees something and starts expressing interest in it, that group then is there's a term for it, love bombs them. So they're love bombing these kids. So the kids feel, and especially if they're vulnerable, maybe they have things going on at home or they're bullied in school and things like that. When you have this group of people that's rallying around you and pulling in, we love you for who you are and all of this, and then it becomes, then there's steps taken into other things. So there's a process to it, and that's, we've noticed. But then when and some of the people I know from that coalition, that's how they started. But then when they started challenging it a bit and realizing, this hurts, this is not what I thought it would be, all of that, and started stepping away from that, then those same people who were love bombing them like crazy became their mortal enemies who wanted to take them out. You know, they're getting threats. Though that's the community now that they are the most afraid of. You know, so it's a whole world of crazy that I kind of stepped into. You'll see this coalition too. You mentioned the erasing the TQ out of it. They wear these pins that are it is the LGBTQ flag, but they've cut that end piece out of it. So and that's what they wear around, you know, because it's like they said they've kind of overtaken that community, and even that community is appalled by it because they don't represent us. This isn't what, you know, we think should happen to children.
So they were hijacked, basically.
That's the word.
Yep.
That's the word.
Absolutely.
But what the good thing though is that there's a lot of pushback now, and people aren't afraid to push back anymore. If you would have told me like to sponsor this bill 4 years ago when I first ran, no way, you know, because I was just getting used to being called names and all of that, and I just wanted to run and hide and, you know, an ostrich in the sand kind of thing. Just, I don't want any part of it. But now I'm, you know, you build tough skin. So it's like, okay, I had to know that I was ready to do this.
So how about we reintroduced something that was vetoed by our governor this year for next term?
Well, stay tuned on that.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because there's one more step to go here in New Hampshire. I mean, well, there's one more giant step. I don't know, it's probably a lot of little ones, but this one's a big one.
Yeah. The boys and girls spaces.
We need to finish. Okay. We need to finish this little.
Yeah. Right. So we know there's already a bill out there. It was passed last year that will keep biological boys out of girls' sports. That's already out there.
Right.
So that it's just being challenged in the courts right now. So that's where that's at. But I think we'll come out on top of that one, and that'll be okay. And the bill that you're talking about, which I know of it well, and I hope to be a part of next year. So
with all these wins, that one's got to be a slam dunk.
No,
it's supposed to be a slam dunk.
It just needed a little bit of work, and we'll get it done. And the governor knows it needs to get done. She agreed that she has a daughter, so she knows that she doesn't want that these boys should not be inhabiting girls' spaces, and I know that she'll work with the right people on that. So. Stay tuned. It's gonna come.
We get impatient here. You understand.
Well, I get it, and she felt it. You know, I'm pretty sure she felt that when she did that. But there's reasons behind it, and we still have another chance at it. And I truly believe we'll get it across the finish line, because it's a big priority for me too. That's part of this whole package, you know, and it'll be okay. That's when people were asking, because she vetoed that before my bills were anywhere.
And then they were worried.
And so my phone was blowing up, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
what is she going to do with your bills? And I just kept telling people, I think it's going to be okay. I really do. And it was.
Yeah.
So I'm feel the same way about this bill. And so I'm not a Debbie Down. Like, I don't go to the depths of, I don't go into attack mode straight away, because there's always reasons why things are done. And I know a lot of people aren't privy to a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, but there's already movement, into next term. We're going to be submitting bills in the next few weeks, and that's a huge priority. And so it'll be okay.
What does veto day look like, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, even when is the big question right
that's the
now
other
too.
question.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. There's, I mean, we won't be able to do anything, I don't think, especially with that one in the House. Like, I mean,
Well, is there something we can do to scare our Democrats out of the state, just like Texas did? Because if we can do that, we can get through veto day
we keep passing
real
these
easy.
kind of bills,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
because they're not
And we want to change the way the borders are for Republicans.
We just need to-
redistrict.
We
Yeah,
want to redistrict. We don't want to use that word. We're just going to use some other word.
That's right.
But we need to, even it out, if you will.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
And we're not taking, by the way, we're not taking any people from Texas that are Democrats to this state.
Yeah.
No way.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Did you see? It just reminds me. We're talking about leaving. I think it was it Oklahoma? It was one of the Midwest states. They have they've passed a law now that if you move from California or New York into
Yes.
their state
Yeah.
and you want to run for office,
Yeah.
you have to take a course.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
you
did
have
see
to be
that.
vetted so that you're not going to bring in that garbage.
that I like.
That ideology.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
They said,
Yeah.
this is how we run our state, regardless of what party you're in, and these are the things that you are going to abide by if you want to run for office in our state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, that's
Yeah.
that's really got to stick the knife in the side of,
Well, they,
a bunch
they
of
want
liberals.
sidewalks and lights and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay,
No, you're
stay
not going to
away.
come here and California up our state.
Yeah.
We need to do that for Massachusetts liberals here.
Right.
Hey,
Yes.
you can introduce a bill like that, right? We got that day coming up, right?
What day?
To put in your bills for
Oh,
next
yeah.
session.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence as to what I'll be doing, because these three big bills. I mean,
I'm sure you're feeling this rush of relief, like, whoa,
yeah, and
wow, that was awesome.
yeah,
and now
and
you
I
just
don't
want to take
ever
a
want to
break.
do that again.
Right, exactly.
So, no, I will.
But
yeah,
you can,
I will.
But you can mentor people.
Oh,
if
for
you don't
sure.
ever want to do that again, just mentor the right people, as you know,
Yes.
and support their efforts.
Yes, because I was mentored the same
Yeah.
way. Yeah, and I mean, sponsoring those kind of bills, like in my second term, was a lot because I was still pretty new.
Yeah.
I hadn't really sponsored any bills in my first term. I did one. It was a duplicate to a Senate bill, and they just went with the Senate bill. It was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So that didn't, but it was just to kind of get my feet wet in the whole, hey, here's what getting a bill through looks like. But wow, it turns out I knew nothing. So,
And you have a very small majority in the
Yeah.
House.
Yeah,
I mean,
technically,
when
yeah.
we were in the minority,
Yeah.
and Terry Roy's been on a whole bunch of times. He was my
Yes.
seatmate.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, wow.
We wore out the red button.
I
'Cause
can
it was
only
all,
imagine.
No. And it was very difficult,
That-
but we were able to stop a lot of things,
Yes.
even though we got something accomplished through a negative way, but we were able to do it.
Yeah.
And that was, we felt pretty good about that, but we
Yeah.
didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Chris Sununu,
Yes.
I had this big blow-up pen, like a Sharpie. And I brought that into him because everybody was giving boxes of red pens. That was
Yeah.
the thing. And he actually took a picture of this. He said,
I love that.
I'm ready for veto day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was cool. But
Yeah, we have a signal chat with the female reps in the House, and every time we start House session, my first statement to them is "Shields up, ladies," because it is.
Absolutely.
It's the darts, it's the arrows
Yeah.
of some of it's evil stuff too.
Yep.
You know, of like we got to keep this stuff out of our state, and it's rough. A lot of it.
So can we talk about some other evil things?
Yeah.
Like what happened to you with your job
Oh.
from the people that,
Yeah.
wanted you gone? Could you just tell a little bit about that? I hate to bring up that
No.
again because I know it was tough for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was tough in that it was just kind of blindsiding. You know, ultimately, it was the best thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah, things happen for a reason. right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
in the end, you don't want to work for people like that anyway,
100%,
right?
100%.
But in the short term,
Yeah.
when we live in a country where we're supposed to be free to express our ideas and vote for who we want and how we want,
Yeah.
but when it affects your livelihood that way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In the short term, that's taking food off your table. That's
Yeah.
not letting you pay your mortgage. I mean,
Right.
that's
Oh, I
just
know.
a,
And
a
there-
horrible, evil thing that
There are
happens.
some Democrats in our town that have had my number. I've been their target since day one, even before that. And so I know that a lot of them were behind this. So I know they were feeding information
Yep.
to somebody that I worked with or for. And I had worked for them for 5 years. I started working for them out of COVID. They were desperate, need of help.
And if I recall, you had a good review right before this happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't an official review, but we had a staff meeting, and we were acknowledging that, hey, we're all doing a great job. Way to go!
Right.
You know, I was provided a new laptop a few weeks before, so you don't do that.
Yeah.
And there was no hint of anything. I had never gotten a negative review from, any brides, any clients, anything like that. I had a great rapport with all of them. Did my work well, balanced it all, and for 5 years, and I did. Like I went to, they asked me to work for them. It was going to be temporary out of COVID, because they were an outdoor venue. That when weddings, they were staying open, and so they needed help, and so I did that. And I knew the owner was a certain political persuasion, but I also knew that didn't bother. Like, we can still work together.
Sure.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, but
I
you're
know.
conservative.
Oh,
Only
I know.
conservatives think that way.
I know. I was wishful thinking, and it went on. 5 years. It went pretty okay. Yeah, and then I got a call from some parents in Ware, and who found out that their daughters, that a biological boy, a 13-year-old, was using the girls' bathroom in the Ware school. And so they asked me to come and speak up at the next school board meeting, which happened to be very soon. And so it was Monday night. I went to that meeting. And you can watch this anywhere. You
Sure.
can see what I said in front of the school board. It was not anything crazy.
Right.
It was just, let's be respectful of each other. We don't have to discriminate against anyone. Just let this boy use a different bathroom that's private just to him. Let's just think of something
do it,
else,
yeah.
but not use their bathrooms. And I wasn't mean or disrespectful or anything. And then the next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the owner of the company called, and here I answer the phone. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Because we were friends. We were
Sure.
friendly. Like whenever we saw each other, even at like staff meetings, we would hug each other and everything. So it was a very friendly, thing. And so, but the minute I said, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Immediately I could feel the cold. And I actually had it on speaker. And my husband was in the room because he worked from home. And so he could immediately hear the ice through, like ice crackling through the phone.
Oh, wow.
And it was just very like no compassion, no mercy, nothing. It was, I've made this decision and we're restructuring. Overnight, we're restructuring and eliminating your position. And so it was like a 20-second conversation pretty much, and it was cold as ice. And of course, they're never going to say why or that was the reason or anything. And she still swears. They put out an article in the Concord Monitor swearing that wasn't the reason. But okay, the timing of it is very strange.
If it wasn't the reason, why did you have to take out an ad in the Concord Monitor?
Well, because
why are you defending this so hard?
They did end up getting pretty beat up about it actually online. Because my story went a little viral on X. And so because turns out Americans don't like seeing people canceled when they're standing up for the right thing and don't like seeing free speech overthrown by a narrative that they think they need to be pushed or whatever. But so that was crazy. And
so that gave you more time to work on these bills.
That's why everything happens for a reason, because I didn't know it, but I was about to enter the busiest season of my entire life with these 3 bills.
Right.
So, and I'm also vice chair of HHS too. So I was assigned that in my second term, and so between kind of that. And then these 3 bills, which needed way more babysitting and whatever than I thought. And then with all the amendments that the Dems kept throwing amendments and, in committee. And it was just boom, boom, boom. And it was very stressful. And then on top of having lost my job and trying to, what am I going to do next? But wait, I don't have time to think about that because of this. So it was crazy. But it turns out I was able to interim do some just some consulting on my time, and I designated the time, and that was a great fill-in for I was offered a job with, I told you the name of the organization before, so it was all meant to be, and now I get to stay in my political lane, which is great and I don't have the fear. I can be on shows like this and not worry about being canceled or fired or anything. This new company actually encourages us using our voices over conservative issues, and so I love that. So I'm excited for that. And like you said, I don't want any part of a place that treats people like that. And so I'm happy to be out of there. And even some of my family members worked for them.
Oh, wow.
And she just in one fell swoop, she just dismissed all of it. And not even a thank you for your 5 years of anything. It was just, So I knew there was shenanigans behind it. and the next day, the Democrats are rejoicing all over our town pages.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how did they know? Like that. It all just the timing of it all, and our Goffstown Democrats chair. Yeah, her husband. He's a firefighter and very, very liberal, and he has said some horrible lies about me before. He actually said that one time I actually threw a sign on the ground that had an American flag on it and like stomped on it on purpose and spit on it. Like he said that I did that, and I'm just like, what? Anyone that knows me knows, like, no, but that's the kind of person. And so he went and he was promoting it all over social media and everything. So I was, I know what you guys are doing. And so if they only knew, they probably will find out at some point that you can try and do what you will. But I'm still, I'll sulk for a few days and then I'll keep moving forward. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I was able, to really then focus on these bills, give them the attention they deserved, because they were so important.
Sure.
They were so important, and they were met with a lot of roadblocks that became building a team of people around me to help get through those.
So where was your support on the Senate side? Tough question. Where do you think it was? Let's start with, in other words, when the bill got to the Senate, they put some amendments on it. Did they try to change it or not?
So the puberty blocker one,
yes.
this was the most heartbreaking one for me, is because I had fought it so hard in my House committee.
Yeah.
So in HHS, the Democrats tried to push an amendment that allowed children to be grandfathered into it.
Grandfathered how?
So if they're already on it, they can stay on it. And we killed that in the committee, right? And then they tried it again on the House floor. And they filibustered on the House floor over that amendment. And we killed it again. And what happens? It gets to the Senate, and our Republican Senate put it right back on. And I was just sitting there in my seat like, what is happening right now?
Oh my God.
I was sitting up in the balcony, just tears flowing down my face. And Jonah was we were all just shocked. We were all sitting up in the balcony just shocked that this was happening.
Yeah, that's really sad.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
But I sulked for a few days about it. And then here's the bright side. As of January 1st, no new children will be able to go on this. And there will be more coming, because this, the battle isn't won yet, and it's still happening, and it will probably continue to. But at least in New Hampshire, we're going to be this beautiful light of protecting children. And I'm really proud of that. Just of not only New England, but the whole Northeast. You look at a map of all the states that have these protections on children, and we're this little one, this little tiny little thing up here. But I'm really proud of that tiny little thing. And it's just, for me, the abuse has got to stop.
Do you have any statistics about folks in New Hampshire being treated with puberty blockers, and because they obviously got the amendment through, so there's some folks grandfathered in. Do you have statistics on that?
We do. I don't have the exact numbers right now, but
are we talking tens, hundreds, or thousands?
Well, not thousands.
Of children in New Hampshire.
Right. No, not thousands.
Okay.
No, I'm not even sure if we've reached the hundreds yet. But there's a website called Do No Harm.
That means that if we haven't reached 100 yet, then that means there's less than 100.
Yeah,
that
it's hard because the billing codes. So when providers, it's all, and that's how they track this stuff. So we don't really know if what's out there is even accurate, because there's billing codes on the surgeries.
Yep.
There's billing codes on the different types of treatments, even the drugs. So like Lupron, which is a horrible.
And the insurance
drug.
Companies and the medical organizations, they play games with those billing codes.
Oh, I know.
And they did that with the COVID drugs, right? They did that where they, if you refuse, they actually put a billing code in there if you said no.
Yeah.
Right? And so that way the insurance company knows that you didn't take it.
Yeah.
Right? Versus that you did take it.
Yeah.
So even if you said, no, I'm not going to answer that, they had a billing code for that.
Right.
Oh, this person didn't answer, therefore they're not taking it.
Yeah.
Right? Because they make that assumption. And so they play games with these billing codes, and then they come out with a restriction on that. So no, you can't track that, right? Because we had this whole business of having a vaccine database, right, for different vaccines, but one specifically for COVID. Where people were walking, I still can't believe this, that people were walking around with COVID vaccine cards. Like that was a thing in the United States where we were making people walk around with the papers.
Yep.
Show me your papers before you can walk through this door.
Yep.
But they were being creative with the billing codes
Yeah.
so that the insurance companies could create their own vaccine database,
Yeah.
even though it was against the law.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't like. In the end, the Senate, after that one initial hiccup, in the end they did the right thing. And if you watch the final vote of it, Senator Avard was brilliant in when he stood up, and even during the hearings, he made a really good point that really made a lot of people uncomfortable, as it should have, because he was saying, and I had never heard anyone kind of term it this way before, but there's conversion therapy is outlawed, is not legal in New Hampshire. But he looked right at some of the people testifying and said, like, is conversion therapy illegal? Yes. Then why are we, if it's conversion therapy for, you know,
Right.
the
It's
whole game, this
Only
is,
if it's in this direction.
this is conversion therapy. What's happening with these kids. So in his opinion, that alone should be, that was breaking the law. So, you know, of course he was a huge proponent of this, and he still is. I was just disappointed that they jumped on the bandwagon of the grandfathering. I was hoping someone would stand up in that and say, no, let's not do this. We don't have to do this, number one. And the House fought really hard to keep this out. And so that was a bummer. And then when they brought it was that all came about in the Committee of Conference. And then they tacked on some other bills to it that we had killed in the House. That wasn't a big deal to me, but I didn't love that they used those bills to do that with.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, I don't know, when you're working.
On the one hand, they're tacking on bills that got killed,
Yeah.
which is bad.
Or retained.
Right? Like we
Yeah.
didn't want to pass those.
Right.
On the other hand, they're tacking it onto a bill that they knew was
I
going to
know.
pass.
Yep, I know.
Right.
And that's where I had to just, you know what? I just had to suck it up, and this is part of the game.
Yep.
And I don't like it. I'm not a politician. I don't like that part of it. I hated it. I mean, ask my family. I would go home and I would just cry a lot of times because it was just like, why are we doing this? Like, we are not our party, this is not what we stand for, and we don't have to do this. We have this majority. We have this supermajority. We don't have to do it, and I don't love it. I don't like seeing Democrats rejoicing in things that, you know, we don't have to we shouldn't be passing. And so, and it wasn't, that's not the only reason. I mean, I could care less if they approve of whatever or not. It's whether it's the right thing to do or not. That's the only reason I'll ever do something. It's not for political this. Obviously, it's not for the money. And it's not for anything else. And there's no organization that could ever pay me off, you know, to vote or whatever, do something, twist a bill in a certain way to make it so that it's not the best for New Hampshire. So that's a huge thing for me. I mean, you know, as a relatively new citizen, I feel really strongly about certain things because I've seen, you know, in Canada where I came from, the direction that country is going and is now. And I have family members still there and the nightmare that they're living in. And that's just motivation for me to keep that crap out of not only New Hampshire, but our entire country. And so I'm overall pretty thrilled with the way things are going right now. But we can still do better. There's a lot of good things that can still be done, and I'm looking forward to seeing what bills are going to be coming up in next month and what I can jump in on and maybe what I might sponsor, but I might just chill out and, like you said, just help people that
Mentor
are
them.
Yeah,
Yep.
because there are first termers, they're in the middle of their term.
Yep.
Some of them might want to be starting to tiptoe into that, and I would encourage that of them. But yeah, that's
Who's the chair of your committee?
Wayne McDonald.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's interesting.
We've had
Yes.
We've had Wayne on, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had Kevin Avord on.
Yes, yeah.
He didn't bring his guitar, but he did,
yeah.
or any donuts or anything.
Yeah.
He just showed up.
Yeah, but Senator Sullivan, fantastic. Senator Murphy, fantastic. Like there's Senator McHugh, and they're all really good people. Like it's just there's just some things that I just wish would have gone a different way.
Well, I think
in some of them, but overall we came out okay. It came out okay.
You've accomplished a lot in a very short time.
Well,
And you
it was
took
a team
on
effort.
big challenges that most people don't want to even get involved with because they're afraid it'll get voted down or they can't get through the process.
They're afraid of the repercussions on their families.
Yeah, that's part
what,
of it.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. I have a friend she's a new rep, and she said she couldn't have done that and won't do that because of what they could or would do to her family, and she has 16 grandchildren, and so that's a huge thing because they have seen what they have done to me and how they've tried to destroy your livelihood, and they go after your family members. They've called out my nieces and nephews online, and said nasty things about them, and you just don't do that. That's just an area you just don't go to, and there's some real lowest of the low people in our town that just thrive on obsession and trying to take. And I think every one of my other fellow state reps in my town would agree that I'm their number one target. I mean, every other day it's something. Representative Joe Alexander gets some too. But
I bet he does.
yeah,
We've had him on as well.
You took up the reins from John, and that should have
Yeah,
been
you
a
did.
clue.
yeah, yeah.
They stopped targeting. Well, they haven't stopped targeting
Right.
him, and so
Nope.
that's something you think about. When you do retire, you're still gonna get targeted.
Yes. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I
But
know. And
but yeah,
John-
they didn't.
yeah.
They don't have John to kick around anymore.
Yeah, John
and
was the big
they
2A
chose
guy,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and you don't want to put yourself in this. I only do these kind of bills kind
Right.
of thing. But I feel like you should be writing bills where your passions are.
Of course.
And right now it is protecting kids from this cultural craziness. And making
It
sure
really
that
is. It really is our first line of defense. We have to
Yeah.
protect the kids. We've talked about this
Absolutely.
particular subject 100 times on
Yeah.
this show because it's so huge.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, we went from nothing to slicing and dicing 10-year-olds in like 6 years, and so
Yeah.
it became just this huge thing that we've always talking about. And we've always said it. We gotta protect the children.
Yeah.
Once they're adults, that's a line that they're free to cross
Yeah.
at that point,
Yeah.
right? Whether I agree with it or not, whether it's,
Yeah.
we really have to do the first line and
Yeah.
protect the children
And
you know,
taking and
whether we-
not letting boys take opportunities away from little girls,
Absolutely.
and vice versa.
yeah, and I don't understand that either. The whole women's sports things.
Yeah.
Even the people who are advocating for all of this, a large number of them have to have had girls as children, right? And to see your daughter work her entire life to be excellent at something, to excel at something that is hers and hers alone,
Yeah.
right? And you are the number one ranked female in golf, the number one ranked female in competitive swimming, right? And to come in third place.
Yeah, have it snatched away from you. Yeah.
There can't be a single parent on the planet who is proud of the fact that their daughter came in third to
Yeah.
2 transgender men.
I know. It makes no sense.
It's
just-
insane.
it
So
does.
where
I
are
just-
these compassionate parents on the liberal side? Where are you?
Yeah, well, their kids might not be in sports, so that's the thing. So their kids are just, or they have little boys.
But they do need to use the lavatories, and
Yeah,
it's
and
more than what we're looking at.
Yeah, and it turns out even that situation in Ware was not what it appeared. He was not. The story was way more than what I think a lot of people thought it was, and which made it especially not okay that this was happening.
Right.
So, but it ended up. I think it ended well. I think he did end up stopped using that restroom, and
Yep.
so. But that's the thing. We just have to. I think we've come out of that season. Remember where we were all afraid. You know, even when Biden was president, we were all afraid of speaking up about stuff. But it feels like now we're more emboldened about that and not so afraid, and actually like kind of owning it when they do say things, making a joke of it and
Yep.
turning it back on them, and then it ends up blowing up in their face.
Exactly.
And I see a lot more of that. You know, even with this silly pickle thing in Manchester. You know, it's totally like it's shifting around.
You
And
missed the pickle man. He was here.
I'm out of the loop on this.
oh,
yeah.
wow.
All right.
Oh, we don't
Yeah.
have enough time to talk
I know.
about it. We
I
can do
know.
it quickly. So this guy is selling pickles.
Yes.
Okay.
He makes these pickles
Okay.
in his home.
Okay.
And he went on Facebook and he advertised it on Facebook. And then the city got involved with the cease and desist
Oh,
order.
because he doesn't have a license. He didn't.
Well,
have,
he didn't. Yeah, he wasn't permitted to do that in the city, and so he's famous right now.
Yes,
I mean,
he is.
he walked in here earlier, and first he said, "You're the pickle guy."
Yeah.
Oh, before I was here
Yeah,
today.
yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I didn't even hear his last name. He just
I
said,
don't know
"Hi,
the-
I'm Daniel," and I'm like, "Oh, you're the pickle guy," you know.
Victoria had him on, and
Oh.
Joe and Will have him. We'll talk about it on their show.
What's
Okay.
great is because he's standing up to it.
Yeah.
You know, he's standing up to the overreach that should not be happening, and it should not be happening.
Well, his family needs to step up because my wife does pickles. And last week we canned 60 quarts of
Are
pickles.
you selling them?
Don't
We're
let the
not
Manchester
selling them.
Health Department
And that's
know.
why I say the family has to step up because we're not selling them because our family is taking them all.
Yeah.
We
Well,
love pickles.
I learned something else though. You can ask for a donation.
Isn't
Oh, of
that,
course you
it's
can.
If you
just
wanna
so
sell it,
ridiculous.
If you want to sell it, you can say donation only.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
And that stops all the other nonsense because
Right.
they can't do anything about it at that point, which I've done more than once.
so
But
ridiculous. Yeah.
anyway, we're running out of time. We
Yeah,
got like
we are.
4 minutes. Didn't it go fast? It's like
It always does.
yeah, and we only went through one of the
I
one of
know.
the bills that we were really excited about.
Yeah.
That's passed, but I
Yeah.
know there's more to come.
There's
and,
more to
we,
come.
We appreciate all you do,
Yeah, thank you.
and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that do as well. So
I've gotten
keep up the good
I've
work.
gotten some beautiful emails and support from people. So you know, the loudest is sometimes, but the people that are quietly, you know, patting and just
Yeah.
saying we're in your corner, and they don't want to be public about it because they are afraid. They are still kind of afraid
Yeah.
about going on Facebook and saying something that they could get fired for
Yeah.
if it got to the wrong people. That's still out there. But thankfully, there's more people now, I think, voicing support because they know they are actually in the majority.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we do know, like, no, we're not the loudest. We still aren't the loudest, but now we do
they're
know we're in
taught
the majority.
and paid to be loud because they
Yes.
think that's what gets them somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yes.
So well, thanks again for coming on.
You bet. Anytime.
And
Yep.
Hopefully we'll do
good
it
seeing
again
you.
next year when you get these other bills passed.
Yeah.
Let us know what's
Yeah.
going on because we're
Yes.
very interested in
Yeah.
the topics you're addressing.
Yeah. It'll always be interesting.
Yeah.
So thank you.
all right, we'll see you next week.